Hello, my name is Jubin Sebastian. I'm from Houston, Texas, and today I will be talking about an experience I had with the Lord through the Holy Eucharist in the night of Adoration. So, just some backstory. So, I grew up in Houston, Texas, like I said, and I was never really close to my faith at all or close to the church. I always just thought of faith as just something you do on Sundays, and then I would just go back to my normal life and not think about anything to do with the church until the next Sunday. Like, I didn't want anything to do with the faith. I thought it was lame. I wanted to be a cool kid by not practicing the faith, or at least that's what I thought. So I was just never close in my faith, and this led me to do some irrational things, some things that are not the best for me. I hung out with the wrong groups of people who influenced me in some wrong ways. And this led me to do a lot of things that I'm not proud of, the things that I'm still struggling with today. And one day I just remember thinking to myself, like sometime in middle school, like, this can't just be it, like in life. Like, there has to be some sort of like purpose, you know? There has to be like something more that I am living for, not just this daily going through the motions, making all these decisions, and just not feeling satisfied. I felt so unsatisfied with how my life was going. And I just yearned for this greater purpose in my life. And so fast forward, I get to high school, and in ninth grade I joined Jesus Youth. And it is there that I really found this faith family. I joined this faith family, and I found the examples of Christ in my life. They were truly like Jesus in my life. I felt so loved in Jesus Youth. I felt so needed, appreciated, and I felt like part of a family. And it is this that led me truly back to the church, and this let me give the church a second chance. And maybe it made me view the church as maybe having a place for me in it. And so this is what led to this retreat experience. This was in my sophomore year of high school that summer, and I was helping out with the middle schoolers retreat, and the retreat was going great. Like, everything about that retreat was amazing. It was fun. The kids were loving it. And this happened on a Thursday night adoration. So it wasn't even like the Saturday night, like Eucharistic procession adoration. It was just a Thursday night regular adoration. So I didn't think anything was gonna like happen, you know? Like, this retreat is for the middle schoolers, so you wouldn't think like something would happen to me, you know? But the Lord is so present that night. So this happened on Thursday night adoration, and the adoration starts off like any other adoration you've ever been to. Like, the Achin does exposition, and then they're doing the opening praise and worship. And I just see all the people around me, they're just like so like freely praising the Lord. Everyone is so into this, and in my mind I'm starting to like question myself and question the Lord as to why I've never like been able to freely praise like this. I've never heard the Lord in any sort of way. Like, people around me are like praying in tongues and doing this and that, and I'm just like, wait, like why don't I have this like connection with the Lord? Because by this time I've served the Lord in so many ways. Like, I've been an altar server, I've been in choir, I've been on a youth board in my church, but none of that drew me into this deeper connection with the Lord. In a sense it did, but back then my faith was really just for show, just for other people, and really not for me and the Lord. So I see people freely praising, and I just start kind of getting mad at God. I'm like, God, why don't I have this connection with you? Why don't you ever speak to me in adoration? Like, I come to adoration so much every first Friday, like every chance I get, I go, and I've never heard a single thing from you. And I just get so, like, my anger keeps like building up, and I just get so mad. And it gets to the point where I'm like, I literally tell God, I give God an ultimatum. I'm like, okay, God, if you don't speak to me, or like speak to me in some sort of way this adoration or this night, then I'm just gonna give up on this whole Catholicism thing, because I am so tired of constantly putting myself out there again and again for you to give me nothing in return. And so during this adoration, this person who I've known for like basically my whole life is sitting next to me at this adoration. So I gave God this ultimatum, and right when I finished that thought, the person I'm sitting next to me comes next to me and whispers to me. He says, I just want you to know that God is so proud of you, and when you feel like it's hard to pray is when you need to pray the most. And God, God is so proud of you. Like, don't ever feel like you have to stop praying. God is so present in your life and saying all these things that, and I heard it in the voice of the Lord truly, like the Lord is truly speaking to me through this person. And right when he told me these things, I just broke down in tears. Like, it was nothing like I'd ever experienced before in my life. I felt so loved in that moment, and it couldn't have been a coincidence, like, I'm telling you, right when I finished that thought, it was like this when he came to me, the person came to me and started saying these things, and I just broke down in tears. Like, oh my God, like, I felt so loved and worthy in that moment. And so, yeah, this is my experience, and I don't have it all figured out. I'm still working through my faith and falling again, going to confession, falling again. But I feel like what this experience in adoration gave me was this reassurance that God truly is there in my life. Like, before this experience, I used to say it all the time, like, oh, God is there, like, but I feel like those were truly like empty words at that time. But now I can truly say with confidence that God is there in my life, and he's working in my life in the ups and the downs. It gave me this reassurance and this conviction that God is there. And now I want to do everything. Every time I serve, every time I sing in choir, I want to do it truly for the Lord, and I truly want to strive for that relationship with the Lord. And yeah, that's how this retreat experience helped me, especially through the power of the Eucharist and adoration. And it also gave me conviction that God is so present in the Holy Eucharist. And thank you.